Hi Cancer, welcome to your December 2020 reading. So I'm just gonna use a really basic 5-position spread for you guys that's gonna cover work, home, unexpected things, your role this month, and the likely outcome. I'm gonna pull multiple cards for each position and we're just gonna read it and see what happens. So let's pull the cards. So I hope you guys have been well. All I know is for you guys, the cards are super chatty this month. I love that though. It's so nice when you don't have to spend ages, pulling the cards and they come out of the gate rearing to tell you what's going on. Okay, I'm just going to pull an oracle card, I think, and maybe a couple of oracle cards, just as a theme kind of energy before I dive in. These are the Angel and Ancestor Oracle cards by Carl Gray. Okay, so overall the theme is Direction Guardian, choose your path, and Spring, see your seeds grow. So I feel like for most of you, you've picked a direction, you've picked a goal, you've picked something that you want to work towards, and now you're wanting to see it grow and take progress. So let's dive into our spread. Anyway, so for work, we had card number 1, Existence, which is the Magician card in regular tarot, and the Flowering card, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, they both kind of came out, I think I was a little bit distracted as I put them down, and I'm not actually entirely certain if they came out in reverse, but certainly when I plonked them down, I plonked them down in reverse if they were not in reverse. So I think this really is just confirmation of the oracle card messages, because what I've kind of got is you see this girl here. She's naked. She's in her leaf, and she's looking up at the stars, and she's looking up at a shooting star. And so she's kind of set her intention. She's set her wish. It's an authentic wish, because she is naked. She is, that sort of symbolizes that authenticity. And she's, and this is quite a spiritual Queen of Pentacles card. A lot of the Queen of Pentacles cards are a lot more, they just have very different depictions. This is a lot more of a this is much more of like an Empress kind of depiction of the Queen of Pentacles. So anyway, my point is you're really trying to work with universal energy, I think, to make this goal or this desire or this outcome, whatever it is that you're wishing for and you're hoping for, to make it grow. Now, this has come out, I will say this, in your work. So maybe this doesn't have to mean job, by the way. This could just mean that your work this month is to work with the law of attraction, is to work with meditation, is to work with the power of your mind, and also the power of taking aligned actions to bring this about. Now, I also want to say that for some of you, you might be trying to work on getting pregnant. There's something about this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is a very mother kind of energy. The Queen of Pentacles is kind of like the perfect wife, the perfect mother kind of card. It is sort of the suit that rules that more than the other court cards and the other suits. And there's something just about the nakedness here and the kind of, she's sitting in a pod or a seed or whatever. There's something about that just feels very like sperm and egg energy. I'm just gonna say it like that. So for some of you, you might be trying to get pregnant this month. That might be what you're working on, and you might just be advised to kind of this isn't necessarily going to apply for everybody, so hang in there. I'll get to other messages that come out in a second if this is not your story. But if this is your story, there's a lot of like, with this Queen of Pentacles, you've got sort of the circular thing over here. So this might be if you've been trying to get pregnant and it hasn't been happening. And because you've also got rabbits over here, which is such a fertile energy. But this might be guidance to kind of work with the moon cycle, work with your, like really track your menstruation, ovulation kind of cycles a lot more closely for better luck. This might also be, though, to really like pray and meditate and kind of really set the intention and use kind of more of that spiritual energy as well to try and make it happen. So that's what I'm getting for some of you. That's what you're working on this month. I think I'm gonna leave that for a second and we'll move on to the next piles, and I may get a clearer sense of what else other people are working on as we go there. Okay, so let's have a look at home. Let's have a look at what's happening in the home space. So home space, you've got the Four of Cups in reverse. You've got the Going with the Flow, which is sort of like a master, it's like a bonus card in the Cups deck. And then you've got the Two of Wands in reverse. So this is sort of what's happening in your home life, or just whoever and whatever represents home to you, okay? So try not to get too stuck on the label. But for some of you, things might not be happening the way you're wanting them to happen. In the normal tarot, this card is like that image of the person sitting there under a tree and they've got 3 cups lined up in front of them and they're sort of like frowning or just not looking interested in the cups. And then there's another cup that's trying to come in. So this is sort of like a card of like discouragement, apathy, not feeling it, not feeling any of the options. And just with the going with the flow and then the possibilities in reverse, you might be closing yourself off at the moment to some possibilities that are trying to come in for you. Or you might have become so fixed on the idea of this thing that I want, this thing that I'm working on, my goal, whatever it is, it has to happen in a particular way, that you may be just kind of tangling yourself up a little bit unnecessarily. And so spirits come in here with this beautiful Spirit Cups bonus card to say, go with the flow. Just like relax a little bit, take the pressure off. Maybe your work, if for some of you, if you've been like reading affirmations constantly, and you've been taking all the action steps in the physical world, and you've been doing everything you can possibly do to make this thing kind of happen, then the advice to you is the opposite of what I mentioned before. If you've been like literally doing everything you can possibly think of, spiritual, physical, tangible, non-tangible, and almost like you've been trying to control everything, and it's still not happening, then the advice for you is the opposite. The advice is just let go, chill out, maybe think about something else for a second, maybe go do something else to kind of like shift your energy. And often when we are trying to control something so much, it's because we're not really in a place of trust, and so that really slows down the energy. Because it creates an energy of desperation, and energy does not flow towards desperation. It's kind of like, if I can give you a really tangible example, it's like, have you ever been on a date with somebody and you sit down, let's say you meet them in a coffee shop, and you sit down and you have a cup of coffee, and within like 5 minutes, they're basically planning an entire future that involves you. And you don't really even know anything about this person yet. They don't even know anything about you. So it seems really premature. And it makes you kind of pull back. Like, even if before, if this person were to just slow down a little bit, to ask a few more questions, to get to know you, to allow things to allow the conversation to just flow a bit naturally, you might actually have really hit it off with this person. You might have actually been quite open to them. But because they're like so obsessive and desperate in the energy, like, you pull way back. You kind of close off your heart and you don't want to go there. And the reason that happens is, the universe kind of operates on a like push-pull dynamic. So when one energy is like super pushing, the other energy, totally retreats. And so, and it's just that energy. Like, if you think about it in a dating scenario, and somebody's like coming on super strong and they don't know anything about you, I don't know about you, but like my head in those kind of scenarios, because I've been in those kind of scenarios, right? And your head immediately kind of goes to like, this person's just lonely. I think they just want anyone, and that's not very flattering. Like, if you're going on a date with somebody and you're trying to develop a relationship with somebody, it needs to be because somebody sees potential in you specifically, not in, I just really want a partner, and there's no like blindingly obvious red flag about you that appears in like the first 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna like put all my chips in with you. Like, it's too intense, and it makes you feel like, it's a really awkward energy. So I want you to think about that. If some of you have kind of been doing that with whatever it is you're trying to achieve, just understand that the universe is kind of like going, I want you to think about it that way. Of course, the universe wants you to wants to help you achieve your dreams, but you just might need to like lighten up your energy. So, but this could be vice versa. So if some of you have just been kind of sitting here and doing your meditating and, but not really taking any practical action steps, then the opposite might be true for you, that you might actually need to be a bit more engaged in the process of trying to create whatever it is that you want to create. So just see where your energy kind of fits on the spectrum. Okay, so let's see what sort of unexpected or surprising energies come in this month. Okay, this is interesting. So we got three cards. We got the Six of Cups in reverse, the Death card in reverse, and the King of Swords. So just with these two cards, for some of you this month, Cancer, you may have that sort of like blast from the past kind of thing happen this month. So for some of you, you may cross paths with people that you haven't seen since childhood, or you may cross paths with like people that, like previous lovers or very close friends that you might have had some kind of ending with, that all of a sudden show up in your life, and they may actually show up with this like plan for you, or they have some sort of plan and they want to be part of your life, or they might come back in with a very kind of strong energy of like, I've had this epiphany, I've made this decision, I want to be part of your life again, or something like that. So that's not necessarily going to be for anyone, but there is kind of an energy for some of you where there may be an unexpected energy this month of something or someone that, you had some strong emotions for in the past, you had some ties with in the past, something connected with your family, with your childhood, with past like romantic partners, or something to do with that, something that you put an end to, it might be trying to come back in. And that might take you by surprise because, you just might not see it coming. Yeah, so your role this month, we only got one card for this position, so your role this month is the Nine of Cups. So it is to focus on what you want. And in this card, it's a different kind of depiction of the Nine of Cups traditionally. So this one's called Laziness, and it's this guy that's sitting there and he's chilling out and he looks like he's on vacation and he's drinking his cocktail and whatever. So yeah, for some of you, your role this month is to be more lazy, in the sense that you've been trying to like do it and control every minutia of how this dream comes to pass, and you just need to lighten up, chill out, have a cocktail, go on holiday, or create that kind of energetic atmosphere within you. It's not saying you need to go on holiday or you need to drink alcohol, but energetically you need to do something that puts you in that kind of energy. For others of you, you've been saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, but you haven't been taking the action. You literally have been sort of sitting here just chilling out, binge watching everything on Netflix repeat, and eating all the cake and drinking all the drinks and all that kind of stuff. And actually now you need to be putting some energy in to kind of signal to the universe like, hey, I'm really serious about this, Now, the likely outcome for this month. The likely outcome for this month is that you may have some conversations with people that are close to you that may bring in new insight, new understanding for you. You may have some sort of emotional release of some sort of kind, like there may be a little bit of, you may have like some unexpected crying. I'm not necessarily saying that you will, but you may, or an unexpected moment of joy. It doesn't have to be tears necessarily, but there may be something that happens this month, and it may actually be connected to somebody from the past that returns. They may come back in and they may say something to you when they're trying to come back in that might in some way kind of free some of your emotions. You might have had an emotion that's been sort of a little bit trapped, because this card is an interesting depiction of the Page of Cups, because it's like there's this one kind of bird that looks like it's stuck in some sort of prison with the bars, and then all these other birds are almost like sort of trying to come in to assist it or something. I don't know. So there may be something about the support of your friends this month that could really help you achieve your goal. They might have some sort of insight or know-how that they offer to you this month that really sort of helps you. Yeah. It's funny. It is a very Cancerian type of reading. Like, there is so much water in this reading, and the goals or the things that tend to be coming up do tend to be things to do with pregnancy, with home, with family, with childhood, with friends, with lovers. It's very Cancerian energy. So I do think for most of you that that's probably what you're working on. For some of you, you could be working on some kind of like trying to create some sort of home-based business around something like that. So for example, you might be trying to create some sort of like home-based business around like baby wear or kids wear, or products to do with children and babies, or something of that nature. You might be trying to create some sort of like food or fitness kind of company, or you know, little thing that you can do from home. It's such Cancer energy. So let's get a couple more oracle cards just to close out the reading. I'm not really seeing exactly what happens with your goal in terms of whether you achieve it, or I'm not seeing anything super specific around that in the outcome position. I do think you're going to have some new understanding or some sort of like little wee breakthrough. You know, it is the Page of Cups. So it's firstly, it's some sort of emotional breakthrough. It's some sort of breakthrough that might come via way of friends, via way of people that are younger than you, via it's likely to be some sort of small breakthrough because it is the Page, and it's likely to, yeah, so I don't think it's like massive, and I don't think, but it may be like, yeah, by the end of the month you kind of get the next step, like you master whatever this step was that you weren't quite getting, and you're able to move on to the next bit of the puzzle. So I'm not getting the sense of like, well, like you achieve everything by the end of this month, but I do think you're making progress, which is nice, right? And it's almost like you might get an answer or a breakthrough or a bit of a momentum on what it is that you're trying to create in a surprising way, like in a way that you're not expecting. For those of you where like a past romantic partner comes back in, I just have to say, with all the cups energy, and with like there's a lot of energy that could be to do with like alcohol too, and with the pregnancy stuff, I just want to say that like if somebody from your past, like a past romantic partner, comes in unexpectedly and wants to reconnect with you, and wants to reconnect with you sexually, just be a little bit careful about that. Particularly if this person hasn't earned your trust back yet, because there is a little bit of energy in this reading that could indicate that, you know, if you were to go down that path, you could fall pregnant unexpectedly to this person. And so, like I say, if they haven't fully earned your trust back yet, and you're not sure if they're like here to stay, if they're serious, if they're committed, if this is something that you really want, just be a little bit cautious about that, because, you know, unexpected pregnancies can have some kind of consequences, and obviously take any kind of precautions that you need to in that kind of regard. That may not apply to everybody, but just if it does, you know, heads up. Okay, final oracle card advice for Cancer. Okay, what have we got? Okay, well this goes with everything nicely. So we've got yellow, we've got flexibility, adaptability, and personal power. So I do think there's something about you might need to change your approach just slightly for whatever it is that you're trying to create. And it might also be that circumstances unexpectedly change around you, and therefore you kind of have to adapt and you kind of have to, go with the flow with them. And there is some kind of truth that's going to be revealed. For many of you, I do feel like this person, whoever they are, whether it's a family member, a long lost friend, ex-romantic partner, anything of that nature, they may come in and have some sort of like truth to share with you. And it may be something that, like they may say something about you, like they may say something that leads to you then like reflecting maybe on like a weakness of yours that you've never sort of acknowledged before, and then you have this insight of like, wow, I didn't really see myself in that way before, but now that this person's mentioned it, I can see what they're saying. And that might be the key that helps you actually shift your own attitude and approach, which maybe might help you towards achieving your goal. For others of you, it's like somebody might come back into your life and they might reveal some sort of truth about themselves. Like, for example, if you cut somebody out of your life, or somebody left your life unexpectedly, they might come back with an explanation. Like they might come back with an explanation for their bad behavior in the past, or they might come back with an explanation for why they left your life without warning and what that was about, I almost want to say, for some people, if somebody left your life unexpectedly and it really took you by surprise, and it seemed totally, totally, totally out of character for that person, like if that person was someone that was very solid, very dependable before, somebody that you never had any doubts about how much you meant to them, and they just totally whatever. For some of you, I almost feel like they might have had a health thing going on. It could have been some sort of addiction that they kept secret from you. I'm getting food or alcohol in particular. So they might have had some kind of eating disorder like bulimia, anorexia. They might have had a drinking issue. Or they might have had some other kind of health issue, like some sort of issue with their body, like a medical issue. And they might come back and they might tell you that. Now, that's not going to be for everybody. Some other people are going to be entering your lives and they might be coming back with a message about something else. But I am just kind of getting that. So anyway, I do think by the end of the month, you're going to have some sort of new insights, some new truth. Somebody might tell you a new truth. You might uncover a new truth about yourself. That's what I have for you guys. Okay, I hope you guys liked this reading. Please do like the readings. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content, and hit the notification bell if you want to get the alerts when new videos are posted. I do recommend that, particularly at the moment, because I am moving houses, and so I'm not in a consistent upload schedule at the moment. So I really do recommend hitting the notification bell, because otherwise you just might miss stuff when I post it. But yeah, I would really love to know if this message resonates with you, and God bless. Take care. Bye.